Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, May 22nd. Hope everybody's doing well. And this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Switched it up there. Any event, first up, Google confirmed the Google Core May 2020 update, or the Google May 2020 Core update, has been fully rolled out as of this past Monday. It took about 2 weeks. Or maybe just Google confirmed 2 weeks later that it was actually rolled out. But it was a big update, like I said. And we definitely have a lot more charts, a lot more information to share with you on that May 19th, when I wrote about it, May 19th post. So definitely take a look at that. I hope you all did well with that update. So talking about Google updates, it seems like maybe yesterday or the day before, about 24 hours ago, there was another Google Tremor. It might be related to the core update, even though that stopped rolling out. Maybe Google made some tweaks to it, or maybe something else happened. I'm not exactly sure, but there definitely does seem to be ranking changes around Google updates around past 24 hours. So figure May 21st, May 20th, and even today. So if you did notice some changes there, you're not alone. There's definitely a lot of people, and the tracking tools also show changes, not as large as that core update or a massive update, but there definitely did seem that there was an update. I released a new little tool this week called wasthereagoogleupdate.com. So just go to wasthereagoogleupdate.com. You can then enter a date into the search box, hit go, and it will show you all the way dating back to December 2003. If there were any stories from Search Engine Roundtable of Google updates, the most comprehensive by far updates, both confirmed and unconfirmed Google updates. So it's a pretty fun tool to do. There are some suggestions and feedback that I will be implementing, but it works pretty well and it's fun to use. So have fun with that. Google said if you were, hit by anything or your rankings dropped or anything, Google's John Mueller said, ask yourself if your site is the best for the result of the query. And John Mueller said, I recommend taking a look at the top queries and top pages from before and after a Google change, and asking yourself if your site is really the best result for those. Sometimes sites get a lot of irrelevant traffic, so absolute numbers can be misleading. Interesting comment. Take it to heart if you were hit or not, whatever you want. Bing released something really cool this week, the ability to answer yes and no questions in search. So if you ask, can a dog eat chocolate, it will say no. You really haven't had a search engine give you yes or no answers before, which is very, very, very cool. So definitely take a look at that. Google also expanded their intelligent answers globally to other languages and other regions, and a bunch of other things in terms of machine learning and AI to become a better answer engine. Google is working on something related to the Nofollow link change. So, Google said back in September, they could use Nofollow as a hint, specifically with ranking in last September. I believe they said they could use it for ranking purposes if they want to. It's a policy change. And then also in March 1st, they said they could use it for crawling and indexing. Again, a policy change. Google said that, at least I've been tracking this for the past few months or so, nothing has really changed practically with this update, with this policy change. It's just that they can technically use it if they want to. And then I asked Google again, Gary from Google again, anything going on, anything new that you want to share? I asked Danny, John, and Gary responded, I'm not exactly sure, he said. He basically said, we don't have anything to announce to the best of my knowledge. The thing I'm working on, he's working on something, will need to be announced at some point. So you will have something there at one point, he said. Sometime in the future, no time frame. So Gary is working on something related to this policy change. Maybe it's ranking, maybe it's spam related, maybe it's crawling or indexing. We're not exactly sure. But there is something to come out around this. But again, there are a lot of SEOs saying, oh, Google now uses Nofollow as a hint. It could affect ranking. So why all these SEOs are talking about core updates or this and that? It could be a Nofollow thing. It's not the Nofollow thing because Google hasn't done anything practically with it. It's a policy change. And Gary seems to be the only one working on something that may be released. And when it is released, it will be announced. So stay tuned for that. Very interesting. People need to stay on top of these things because, why address one thing to the other when it's not? Of course, Google's algorithms and stuff, addressing anything to anything, Google just denies it anyway. So it is what it is. In any event, it seems like Google might be digging out of reconsideration requests. Marie Haynes posted that she's filed one in February and one in March, and both got approved as reconsideration requests this week. I've been tracking this for a while. In January, I said, is there a backlog or something going on? This is even before all the COVID stuff. And John Mueller said, no, nothing's really going on. It's just typical. So it seems like even since like December and November of last year, there's a 2 to 3 month wait period for some reconsideration requests. I don't know if that's new or changing or something like that, but it used to be much faster. But it definitely does seem to be something going on there. Unlinked citations. So if you get like a mention on a web page, somebody's like, oh, the Search Engine Roundtable said this, but they don't link to the Search Engine Roundtable. They just said the Search Engine Roundtable said this. Do those unlinked citations actually help you with rankings? We covered this before, and John Mueller tweeted a response to that saying at least yesterday or the day before, the short version of the answer to that question is usually not. That's what he said. But there's a long version. And we covered this before, that Google said that unlinked citations could help with discovery, not rankings. We covered this before in terms of what Google's Matt Cutts said and stuff like that. So definitely take a look at this. There is a history around unlinked citations and how Google handles those things. There was a bug this past week that Google confirmed around Google's Search Console performance report, specifically with the Discover report, which makes debugging and tracking the core updates even a little harder. But between the dates of May 12th and May 15th, the reporting in Google Search Console performance report for Discover reports, Discover traffic specifically, may have shown a significant drop in traffic. And it might not be related to anything related to any ranking stuff. It's just a reporting bug. Google Search Console added a new guided recipe features. Specifically, there's a new enhanced report to help you debug any issues around your guided recipes. There's also a new feature in the rich results testing tool where you can actually test your guided recipes in real time, and as well as a preview how it looks like in Google Assistant. So it's pretty cool. Take a look at that. Very interesting stuff. Google said a no index will not hurt you. There's no like memory. Like Google, if you put a no index on your webpage today, you remove it tomorrow, in 6 months from now, that's not going to hurt you. But there are some rumors out there, myths out there that, once you put a no index on your site, it's going to make it harder for Google to index you even after you remove it. John Mueller said that's not correct. I'm not even sure where that rumor came from, but it is what it is. We covered months ago that if you have a video embed on your webpage, in the Google snippet, it might show, for that page, it might go ahead and show uploaded by and the author of the video, not the author of the content of that page. So a lot of people are upset with that. So people are experimenting with it. And Stefan, an SEO, said if you go ahead and use the inline attribute, data no snippet true, and wrap that meta tag around that no snippet, around that attribute, around the div for the video, it will go ahead and remove the uploaded by. So definitely take a look at that. I wrote about it this morning on May 22nd. I included some code examples of how that will work. So definitely take a look if you have that problem with the uploaded by. Google Knowledge Panels. Danny Sullivan did an explainer post on the Google Webmaster blog or the Google blog explaining how knowledge panels work, where they source their information from, how you can make updates to it, and how you can actually fix issues with it. So it's one of Google's explaining the post, nothing really new there, but it's nice to see Google documenting more of this stuff. Google's testing a new job-related expansion box where it's actually showing you related queries for people who are seeking jobs. It's a new little feature that SEMrush spotted, and here's a screenshot of that. Google Hotel Ads is now launched commissions per stay, which is actually was in beta. Now it's more widely launched. And also they added free cancellation filters for searchers, so that if you have a cancellation policy and they're free cancellations, especially what's going on, there's a new filter for that. So there's some new Google Hotel ad features there. There was a poll where an SEO asked, does position 1 matter more today than it matters 10 years ago? And it was interesting because the results were kind of all over the place, meaning like most people said 38% said it mattered more today, 39% said it mattered more 10 years ago, and the rest said it pretty much mattered the same as it did beforehand. And there was over like 500-600 responses or so, and I'm kind of shocked by that because position 1 probably gets a lot fewer clicks today than it did 10 years ago. But I guess it makes sense either way. You still want that position 1. So interesting poll. Google AdSense, is not reviewing some sites due to COVID-19. If you do have if you need a Google AdSense to review your website for any policy violations, whatever it might be, Google might say, well, your ads aren't ready to show, but because of COVID-19, we're kind of slow to that, so we're not gonna be able to review your site now. Maybe we'll do it in the future. So definitely that's an issue for some AdSense publishers who have issues. This is great. Matt Cutts, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago today, released a video basically predicting what search would be like in 2020. So 10 years later. Obviously, Matt Cutts no longer works at Google, but then he did. And he gave him pretty much a few predictions. He said one is the brain add-ons, where you embed something in your head and you think about something and then it will give you the answer. He said he wasn't sure if that's going to be released, even though there were some things like Sergey Brin and Larry Page were talking about that. So he was correct in that, saying there are going to be no brain add-ons. He also said that we will have devices with us all the time, like cell phones, but more capable. Dead on, of course. He's also said more information will be in the cloud. No brainer now, looking back at it, yes, 100%. And partially correct, he said that personalization in search will be more important. He said search engine will know more about what you like and dislike, and relevancy will be based on that. He said location or previous things you clicked on would also influence search. Well, location is important, but outside of location, what you click on in search is not really being used. So, for example, he said location data will be very important. Of course, that is very, very important today. But the personalization based on what you clicked on is not. Even Google's Danny Sullivan recently said, about a year or so ago, that personalization is very, very light. They thought it would be bigger than it was. It's not. It's not really that. It doesn't really help improve relevancy according to Google. Location does. Location-based stuff does, but not like what you clicked on or age, demographic data, and stuff like that. So that was a kind of partially correct answer. So it was pretty cool to see him answer this. Definitely take a look at that video. It's fun to watch. It was only like a minute and 10. It was basically like, I think it was like a 75-second video. And finally, the Google Search Relations team, John Mueller, Gary, Martin Split, all went ahead and released a new podcast, not a video. They're big into YouTube stuff, but now they actually released a podcast that's available on all your favorite podcast software or tools. It's called Search Off the Record. It sounds like it's going to be fun. They released a teaser video of it. And because of that, it sounds like they're going to be talking a lot of things off the record. But again, I don't think they're going to release anything crazy. It's kind of like, sounds like it's going to be a fun chat between the three of them, or maybe more of the Googlers. And Gary even made a joke about what name they're going to come up with for the podcast. And now they're calling it Search Off the Record. But he even joked about calling it Search Engine Square Table. In any event, thank you so much for listening to the Search Buzz Video Recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news at seroundtable.com over the past week. Today again is Friday, May 22nd. Everyone be healthy, be well, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. Oh, actually next week is the holiday of Shavuos on Friday. Maybe I'll pre-record a video Thursday and have it scheduled for Friday, but I don't know if I'll be writing anything on Friday. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays to anybody celebrating. See you guys next. Bye.